KCAA and KCAA Internet Television, the station that leaves no listener and no viewer behind.
Hello and welcome to Let's Go Shopping with Bev. This show brought to you by Starflight Entertainment. Music by Dr. Bombay and the Blue Machine Band. Song title, Living in Paradise. Now here's Bev.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody, and I hope you're having a nice Friday out there. I know I am, because we're off the freeway, yay! And a few moments ago, if you heard me hi, Mia.
Hello.
Yes, and Mia is our fantastic board op with us today and talking about traffic. If you did not hear a few moments ago, she was talking about the backup traffic and this and that and everything else. And guys, just remember what all of us ladies tell you. Have something to drink. Have a picnic basket with you. You know, have a book or something for the children to keep them occupied and just cruise down the road. You're going to get to where you got to get to. If you're 5 minutes late, don't worry about it. Okay? Just cruise on down, take it easy. And we have some really cool guys. Did I say some cool guys? Yeah, we got some cool guys in the house today. Yay! And we have Cliff from Cliff's Pest Control, and he's going to be talking about all them buggies and stuff running around the backyard. And then right after Cliff is going to be Dale from Lowe's, and we're going to be talking to him in a little bit. Also, Rich is in the building. Yep.
Hi, Bev.
He's in the building. And then after that, we're going to be talking to Rhea from Habitat for Humanity, and then we're going to be talking about the Headress Ball, which is tomorrow. Yay! We're so excited about this. And then I have a big announcement to make at the end of the show. It's good. Don't get nervous. It's a good thing. So let's start this show with no further ado. And hey, Cliff, how you doing?
Real good, thank you.
Good. And welcome to the show today.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, since you are the pest control guy, would you tell all of our listeners and all of the countries that we deal with, how do you get rid of bugs?
Well, some people try to do it themselves. However, if you hire a professional, you have a better chance at it. We have the products for the right insect or bug or, say, gopher. Mm-hmm. So, the professionals are your better way to go. And then there's a methodology to how you take care of them. Each one has their own. Some people say when you're dealing with ants, you think like an ant. When you're dealing with roaches, you got to think like a roach. So you have to know their habits.
Okay, now wait a minute. I have to say something, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I mean, the door's wide open. When you said you got to think like an ant, right, and then also like a cockroach, is that what's happening with the government now?
Yeah, I suppose you don't want to go there.
Okay, I just wanted to know the door was wide open.
I was thinking like an uncle.
There you go.
Aw, nice.
Yeah, like an uncle, yes.
Right, and talking about the buggies, last week your team was out to my house and you got rid of them nasty little gophy thingy guys. Man, they are ugly things. And so tell people now, what's the first thing that they should do when they see them gophers or them other big round
ground squirrels?
Thank you. And then them other things.
Sometimes you have moles, but we don't have as many moles here. But California has more voles and moles, and voles are more like a hamster that runs around above ground. Mm-hmm. But they're fast. So those you kill with bait. Moles, you have a particular product that you have to put in there because they eat grub and worms, and so you have to have a way of tricking them to eat the stuff. And then gophers, for most residential and commercial, we use a grain bait treated with strychnine. However, we also have some that's treated with zinc phosphide. So two different modes of action, but they kill them. It's a little slower than the old way, like when I'm working with like I do Yucaipa schools and parks and some parks and city places where I can use fumitoxin, but the laws have got very strict on fumitoxin. You can only use them on athletic fields and cemeteries and parks, and there's a very strict method of using that for the safety of people.
Well, talking about safety for people, I'm glad you brought that up. Now, if a family has little children or little kindergarten people-sized children, and they have animals like dogs and cats and orangutans and elephants, whatever they have for pets. What should one do to get that all together and have the children removed, and then like the toys and everything else? What should they do with all of that?
That's a lot of questions there. First off, most products that we treat the houses with, once it dries, it's relatively safe. I mean, it is all a pesticide. However, we use mostly cautions as opposed to the warning and danger, which is the higher levels of toxicity. We also use cautions that are in a lower toxicity level, if at all possible. So once it dries, it's relatively safe. Same within the house. So unless you know your children are going around, licking the baseboard or something, or the edge, you just have to be careful. And your pets too, but once it dries, they usually don't mess with it. It's relatively safe. However, if you're using traps or something like that, or some bait, then you have to be much more careful. There's tamper-resistant bait boxes. And then with your pets in the backyard, if you're treating with a strychnine, you have to be very careful if those dogs are the type that dig. So all those things have to be taken into consideration before you make one application. So you look at all that. You look at all the applications.
Did I hear you say children licking the baseboards or something like that?
I was being very...
I thought I heard something like that. I was going to say, well, I'll take them to the doctor. I haven't checked out.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be the worst-case scenario, and I don't believe they do that, but they crawl all over the place. So.
Yeah, children have a tendency of doing stuff, and we all got to admit, when we were that size, we could do all that stuff and get away with it, too.
I was probably licking the floor at that age. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Looking for lollipops. I don't know what...
We knew there was something weird about you.
Yeah,
the truth came out. There it is. He was licking that floor. That's funny. And now, with all of this, too, and the other question that just popped into my mind, with all the wild animals that we have, that we want to keep, we have rabbits now that are, wild rabbits, and they come through the yard and they like hanging around the roses and everything else. With all of these, if they got into any of this stuff, would it damage them, or they are immune to this stuff?
Well, if you're treating with a pesticide, it would be just like anything else. And we're in California, so it's going to dry in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. So that would make it safe. However, when you're treating with baits, that's why we use tamper-resistant stations that are designed for what you're after. If it's mice, they're a lot smaller. If they're for rats, they're designed for rats, not ground squirrels, although they might be able to get in there. Mm-hmm. And then if you're after ground squirrels, then there's a station for them where the rabbits don't really go into them. So if you're using the proper station with the proper product and your target pest, you should be okay with your rabbits. And sometimes you have to worry about secondary kill on, birds. So we also have to take that into consideration. So if a hawk ate too many rabbits in an area, you'd have to take it into consideration. However, if you use zinc phosphide, the good thing is that goes into the stomach without getting too graphic. It makes your stomach explode, and there's very little secondary kill on creatures that, like your gophers if they die from zinc phosphide. So again, you have to take all that into consideration when you look at any job. I mean, every job's different. I may be doing something different at your next door neighbor than I do at your house based on the number of children they have or the number of pets.
That's it. And then the other thing, too, is when they call you and you come and you check it out and figure out what's going on and this and that, and then they should have a routine schedule with you where you maintain it afterwards, like maybe twice a month or 3 times a month, whatever it is, where once you got them, they're gone. They're not going to be like relatives and show them back up again. They're going to be gone, right?
Well, again, it's called control, so you're never going to get total elimination. So I would say a lot of times if you're doing pests, there's monthly or bi-monthly service, which is pretty good because if you have a problem in between, we'll come back and it's no additional charge. However, if you're dealing with, let's say, gophers, the first month you may be out there 7 times in a month, and the second month you may be out there 3 times, and then if you're lucky you get down to a low roar where you're out there once or twice a month. Mm-hmm. But you know as well as I do, a lot of people live where as soon as you forget about them, they come back.
Yeah.
Because we can only control your yard or your structure, and we have no control over your neighbors unless we're doing your neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
And wouldn't it be easier, like with my neighbors on both sides, right? And last year everybody got together and all three were done at the same time, so we didn't have to worry about them, crawling back in somewhere or something. And so if a neighbor was going to be doing it, they should notify their neighbors. What do you think? And have it all done?
It works well, but neighbors don't always, have that kind of communication. So,
yeah.
But yeah, and sometimes the one that doesn't want to do it is the one that has Caddyshack in their backyard.
I was just thinking about Caddyshack and that gopher, and he's throwing the bombs back at what's his name?
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
Yeah. Now I understand my gophers. I was out there the other day just before you got there, and they're talking to each other on cell phones.
Yeah,
he's coming now. He's
Okay.
They got the new iPhone.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
You go pick up their phones.
I know it.
That's how we're going to get our new phones.
That's right.
Yeah, use them for a souvenir. And now you have been doing this for a number of years, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I actually worked 21 years for Santa Fe Railway, and then when they wanted us to move to Kansas, my parents, who owned the company, and they started the company in 1971, they asked if I'd come and work for them. And so I came and worked with them, and I've been doing it now since, it was like 93 when I started working for them, 1993, and I bought the company in 1997, and we've grown quite a bit. I have 17 employees, and
are you still having fun?
Sometimes, busy work.
We won't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that funny story earlier, and that won't go out on the air. No.
Ooh,
Yeah. And me saying, Kelly.
Well, it's just, everybody they want to own their own business, but they don't realize you work 60, 70 hours a week sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But,
on a short week.
Yes, a very short, on a 3-day week.
I didn't want to sound like I was complaining.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
I want to know if this is truth or myth. If you spray for spiders and, you get rid of the spiders, if you don't remove their webs, another spider can occupy that web. Is that true?
I suppose another spider could occupy their web. However, it depends on the breed of spider.
Okay.
And like some spiders do the same. They'll stay in their same old web no matter how dirty it is. They'll clean it up. Mm-hmm. Other spiders won't even mess with another web. They'll tear it down, or they'll build their own network right over them. So it really depends on what kind of spider.
They're like people with houses, right?
Absolutely.
Tear the old one down, like in Hollywood or whatever, build a new one.
Wow. Well, thank you. I was curious about that.
Yeah, and Cliff, I know that you have to leave to get your granddaughter, but before you vacate, would you bump out the contact information they could call you and get rid of the buggies? Because I'm going to tell you guys, I know this man for a long time. He has been taking care of my yard for a long time. Nice. You want to get rid of them buggies? Mm-hmm. Call him. They have our stamp of approval. And, I don't give that off too often. But when I do, listen, call this guy.
Yeah, and I'll just real quick say my range is, Corona, Paris, up to San Bernardino, which is the hub. Then we go out to San Dimas, a little farther, and then out to Banning. So it's a large area. We do pretty much the mountains up to Running Springs. I have a whole route in the mountains, and we do up in the high desert. So Cliff's Pest Control, it's area code 909-887-1862. I want to make sure I don't make a mistake on that number. It's, again, 909-887-1862. And we also, if you want to email, it's cliffspestinc@verizon.net.
Oh, that's easy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people are using that Verizon Inky thing now.
Nice.
And then if you call, just say, I got bugs, I got spiders, I got orangutans.
That's right.
I got an elephant.
We'll try to answer your questions.
Okay. And can you hang for a few more minutes?
Yeah,
if you have to vacate. Okay. Mia, I see the light flashing here on line 57. Who is it?
Oh, man. Okay, we have here, it is, the gentleman from Lowe's. Hold on.